Hi all, welcome to HitFI. I questioned myself after sitting through the cringeworthy movie watching experience, right? Why the hell did I watch this movie? Well, first of all, we need to have this channel going. And then there are not many movies with decent content that were released from India, as most big budget ones are waiting for the theater releases to reap their return on investment. When I watched this movie, I was appalled at the audacity of everyone involved in it to make such a crass content, right? Be it Varun Dhawan, who is a decent actor otherwise, or Bollywood Barbie doll in the making, Sara Ali Khan, or veteran actors like Javed Jafri or Paresh Rawal or Rajpal Yadav have reduced themselves to caricatures straight from the 90s. When you watch David Dhawan movie, the first rule of thumb is to park your brains at home, right? But guess what? That is not an option in this case, as we're all watching this movie on OTT and at home. Now, the alternate option is to tune your brain to forego of all the typical cliche moments, stereotypes, and unintelligent writing, given the fact that many of us have watched the original Govinda Karishma movie, which was equally dumb from the standpoint of how audience have evolved over past 25 years, right? One would expect that they might have done something at all, right, to at least appeal to some sensibilities of current generation. And guess what? There are only two things that changed in this movie, I guess. One is the westernized Christian themed wedding in a church that has forced lip lock scene between the lead actors when they get married, which looked so awkward. Second one is the usage of smartphones, obviously because this is a smartphone generation. And other than these two, nothing changed. It almost felt like David Dhawan got frozen in time around 1995 and didn't bother to know anything that happened around him after that. The concept is as old as his own son, Varun Dhawan, right? Who has played much better characters than this. Now, if you think from the pre-pandemic standpoint, I think it must have been a good business strategy to keep recycling all the crap from 90s, as it was already proven through Judua, which made humongous business in theaters, in spite of the bad reviews. All the actors, specifically Paresh Rawal, Johnny Lever, and Rajpal Yadav, were in their familiar territory, doing old school loudmouth comedy, or the slapstick comedy as you call it, right? When I think about it, have we not gone beyond that kind of comedy genre? Like Andaz Apna Apna and Hera Fairy, which were milestones during those times, are basically overloaded with slapstick comedy. We have had series of Malayalam movies during those times too, which were basically that. The only reason we still watch them is to live through the nostalgia, even though a lot of it doesn't necessarily nourish your intelligence. Now, why would someone make the same style slapstick comedy during current times when first, it is totally outdated concept, and secondly, there are many old movies that you can watch on YouTube that serve the same purpose. There is a scene where Varun Dhawan, who plays Raju, is having a tussle with the villain Mahesh, who looks like a rich kid and calls him mozzarella cheese. For me, it felt like Varun was addressing his own rich kid character in student number one, right? Then there are loads of South Indian stereotypes in this movie. Obviously, this movie belongs to that kind of genre where South Indians means Tamils who speak broken Hindi in a loud-mouthed caricaturist accent. The scene where Rajpal Yadav is shown to be having food in a South Indian street side eatery, you don't need the idli dosa store owner to start speaking to figure out what is going to come out of his mouth. It is straight from the legacy set by Mahmood and Mithun before the 90s, right? When Javed Jafri disguised himself as Jackson with curly hair and weird accent, it took a while for me to kind of realize that he's playing a South Indian because the character was so poorly written. Obviously, he added a few IOs and so-called South Indian mannerisms to affirm his identity. None of this was a surprise to me, as the writing was from the great Farhad Samji, the abysmal writer of Chennai Express and Lakshmi. Paresh Rawal, who plays Jeffrey Rosario, is shown to be gold-digging father of Sara, right? Who plays Sara Rosario. Now, I would say that this kind of comedy is Paresh's forte, and he has done a decent job here. It is just that the writing of and the plot is so amateurish that the overall package falls flat. Paresh is shown to be so foolish that he doesn't recognize that Javed Jafri, who played a marriage broker, some kind of pundit, is in the guise of the assistant of Varun, who is made to look like a billionaire. Paresh and the rest of his family is further fooled to believe that the billionaire Varun has a twin brother who looks exactly like him and works as a railway porter or a coolie. Can you believe that? Now, another rule of thumb for David Dhawan movies is that the women should not be intelligent, no matter what their background is or how educated they are. Their only aim in life should be to marry a rich, well-to-do guy, and once they marry, they get so blindfolded by their love for their pati that the pati can keep fooling her and she chooses to be naive and believe whatever her pati says. Sara's character is exactly this in this movie. Sara Ali Khan, who I thought had a promising debut in Kedarnath, was someone I had high hopes on. right? Well, she chose to do all the crap movies like Simba and this one just to remain in the league or to be part of Rohit Shetty and David Dhawan kind of Bollywood establishments. Well, this is a prime example of what nepotism offers you, right? The scriptwriters like Farhad Samji take a lot of so-called cinematic liberty when writing their scripts, right? And most of them open up logical loopholes. For instance, the billionaire's son is shown to be carrying drugs in a passenger train along with his friends. Seriously, guys. First of all, which billionaire's son travels in a train? And why would he be so naive to carry drug packets in his backpack? Another scene where Paresh lands in Mumbai is to meet his newly-wed daughter and her husband is shown to be arriving in the train, while common sense makes you think that the character who is shown to be a millionaire would use some other luxurious forms of travel than train, right? Both these sequences are made up just to create those turning point moments in the movie, but just because they have so many logical loopholes, it's totally absurd. Friends, as I end this video, I see that IMDb rating for this movie is like 1.3, and I wonder if this matters at all to the producers. At least from the audience standpoint, it should be very clear to the makers that people are not giving a crap for such content. I could have continued dissecting so many issues in this movie, but I think it's a waste of your time and my time. Anyways, let me know what you think about this movie, and I apologize if I got carried away and used any foul language as part of this. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel if it is worth your consideration. Thank you very much.